Hey guys, check it out. I got a few ideas that I want to throw out there to you guys about some projects that you might want to do in your shop at home. You know, there's a lot of guys that don't really have the option to have a huge shop. So I'm going to throw out 10 different ideas that I think that you could use in your shop at home to kind of get started on some projects that you want to do. Okay, number one, guys, make sure you have some good safety glasses in the shop. This is very important, especially in a metal shop or, you know, for anything. Wood shop, metal shop, I don't care what you're doing. You want to protect your eyes. So make sure you have 2 or 3 pairs of these laying around because they get damaged very easily. Okay, number 2, make sure you have a good set of gloves in your shop. Maybe a couple of them. I really like these Tillman. I've used these for years and years. I mean, these are great gloves. They feel good. They're tight enough on your fingers. You can pick things up. They're really user-friendly for anything you want to do. Make sure that if you get these gloves, you get them to where they fit your hands good and snug so you can feel things. You can get these on Amazon and they're cheap. So get you a couple pairs of them, have these hanging in the shop for sure. Number 3, what I recommend is if you're gonna do any layout or you wanna fabricate something, you're gonna need a good table. You need a good flat table that you can beat on with a hammer. Like this table I got in my shop, it's a 1/2 inch thick. A lot of the guys run 3/4 to 1 inch plate. This one's nice because I can push it around in my shop. I got a small shop at home, so when I'm here, it's easy for me to roll this table in and out. But you want to have something really flat that you can do some nice layout, get your chalk lines, set whatever you're building on there, and go to welding. So make sure you have a good table. Okay, number 4, very important. Make sure that you have a good tape measure. I have tape measures everywhere. Okay. I carry around these little 12 footers because, you know, when I was back in the iron business, I carried a 25 footer and it just, after a while, it starts killing your hip. Get you a little one like this so you can do some good layout in your shop. It's easy. They don't take up a lot of room. I love the Stanley. I've been using Stanley for years. It's a great tape measure. As a matter of fact, every time you see a picture of me or anywhere, I'm wearing one because I love to have a good tape measure. So make sure that you have a tape measure for layout in your shop. Very, very important in your shop. And if you don't know how to read a tape measure, stay tuned because I might be teaching that lesson next. Okay, number 5, which I think is super important in your shop, grinders. Okay, now I've got, as you can see right here, I've got different grinders here. I've got a Milwaukee, some DeWalt's. They all work pretty good. You know, right now I'm really having a lot of fun with the Milwaukee. The DeWalt's been dependable and been around forever. You know, they're a good product. You can get these on Amazon. They'll ship them to your door and you can use them. The great thing about what I got here is instead of having one grinder, I like to have 4 of them because they have everything on it. I have a stone disc on this one right here for some hard grinding, a flap disc on this one for finish work, a cutoff wheel on this one, which is very, very, very handy to have in your shop. So make sure you get a lot of cutoff wheels when you get your grinder. And then I got a wire wheel for kind of knocking off some rust or slag or whatever you want. So I recommend these 4 because you don't have to keep changing every time and that gets aggravating. So if you can afford to buy 3 or 4 of them, you can get by with 3 pretty easy. So if you can get 3 of these, I recommend having that because you don't have to change out every time. So when you're trying to get something done and you're really pushing, make sure you have enough of these to get the job done. Okay, number 6, that's pretty important to have in your shop is a good drill. Here's a couple of different drills. You want to make sure that you have a good drill and some good drill bits. Don't fight that cheap stuff because it will frustrate you and make you mad. So make sure you get a couple of good drills that you could get in there, drill a hole with ease, okay? And then also you probably want to keep a good set of impacts. This one's a 1/2 inch, this one's a 3/8, and they make a 1/4. I use the heck out of all of them. I use the 1/4 one probably more than anything. But make sure you have a couple of little impacts so you can put things together, take them apart really quick. Okay, number 7, this is important. Make sure you have some good clamps in your shop, okay? These are kind of an expensive clamp, but they do not fail you. They're very easy. You stick them on your table, you tighten them down, and this is how you tighten down your plate to your table. So when you're drilling, you have something solid that you can go down through and it doesn't spin. Because once it starts spinning, it could cut your finger off, it could cut you, it could hit somebody next to you. So make sure that you have a good set of clamps. Now also with the clamps, you want to make sure you have a good vise. Now this is a Wilton vise. They're proven, they've been around forever. They're hard to find locally, probably in town. So you're probably gonna have to order it, which you could get off Amazon, and get this vise delivered to your house, bolt it to your table, and you will be saving yourself so much frustration. Okay, number 8, which I think is very important, is you gotta have some hand tools in your shop. Meaning that you need to have some sockets, you need to have some ratchet wrenches, something in your shop to make your job easier. You can't do it with your fingers and a pair of pliers. I've had a lot of these old kits that have been in my shop a long time. You can get these online, you can order them through Amazon. This one here is a Husky kit that I've had literally probably for 10 years. This is a DeWalt one that I've had just recently because I was broke down in the middle of nowhere and I needed a kit. And as you can see, you open it up, it has everything that you really need in it. So we got wrenches, you got Allen wrenches, you got sockets, you got deeps, you got shorts, you got plenty of extensions. You got a little screwdriver in here with different attachments to that, a few wobblies in here. This is actually a pretty good kit that you can get that will get you by, okay? You don't want to start putting a bunch of impact wrenches on them. They're not really made for impacting. So if you're gonna do some impacting, make sure that you get the right ones for impacting and step it up on your tools. You could go to a toolbox like this, which, this is $200, and this is probably, $7,000 worth of tools in here. So make sure that you stick to whatever budget you're working with. This will get you by. It probably isn't what you want. As you get advanced and you start getting better, you're gonna wanna get better tools. Tools are very important. They're an investment for life. So make sure that you get a good set of tools because you'll have them forever if your kids don't lose them, like mine. Okay, listen, if you're in your shop and you need a nice little welder, I recommend if you can get 220, get a 220 welder. The 110s are great, but if you're gonna go up and you're gonna start welding 1/4-inch material, you're gonna want a 220 machine. Right now I'm welding with this 235 ESAB welder. They're a great little welder. They work good in the shop. They've got a good cart where you could drag them around easy. I've got a ton of welders. I mean, I've welded with all of them. Miller, Lincoln, Hobart, ESAB, all of them. You can weld with any of them. This is just what I'm working with right now, and it's a good little welder to have in your shop. They do make a 110 volt one too, but you definitely want to have the 220. It will be so much better in your shop, and it lays down a way better bead. Okay, number 10, and one of the final things today that I think you should have in your shop is a good chop saw. This is an old Makita, probably got more miles on it than your grandpa's 12-valve Cummins. Make sure that you get a good saw that's gonna last. You put them under a lot of pressure. When you're cutting this 3/8 plate and something heavy, you want something that's gonna cut through it and make it. So make sure you have a good saw in your shop so you can cut angles and make things come together a lot easier. Oh, and one more bonus thing that I think you should have in your shop. A refrigerator with beer in it. So when all your friends are over here, they can drink beer while you're working. Okay guys, this is basically just the start of the top 10 things that I can think of. If there's anything that you guys are thinking of, or you have any questions on how to use tools or what you should use in your shop or what you're building, please comment and let me know. And also there's gonna be a description down below that you can click on to go to Amazon for any of these tools that we've talked about today. So it'll make it a lot easier. If you guys are wanting to get started, make sure you do that. Make sure you like this video and subscribe. We'll talk to you later.